So where we're up to is we've made a database and we've got a table of data in my database with some sample data in it. In order to do that, we had to decide what fields we were going to have and what data types those fields would be. And we also made a form to make it a bit more user-friendly for the user. The next thing I want to look at is queries, but I don't really want to use this particular database for queries because I haven't got enough data to make it really meaningful. It would feel a bit ridiculous to be querying just 2 records. So I have an example which I'm going to use instead, which is this comic book characters database. And as you can see by the file size, it's a reasonable size. I can't remember where I got this from, no doubt found it on the internet somewhere, something like that. So here's my TBL characters, and I have a lot of values, 23,000-ish records in this database. So you can see trying to make sense of this is not easy to do. So that's kind of the job of the queries. We're going to use a query to sort and filter. I will note there are these sort and filtering tools here. They're not much use to us. You can do stuff with them, you can answer questions with them, but it kind of misses the point of what we need to do. So don't use those, use queries instead. Let's start by going to create and create a query. There's 2 options here. Don't use the wizard, it doesn't really help very much. The query design is what you want to do. Looks very blank to start with. Over here the tables we can add into it. Let's add in TBL characters and resize so we can see all of the fields. So these are the fields which are available to us to use in our query, and down here is where they'll be. So if I just double click this, you can see I've now got this one is the first one. I can also drag them down so I can see their name, maybe see their eye color, and I think you can select here, see their hair color and their appearances, maybe that kind of thing. So what have I selected? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields, and there's those 5 fields, still all 23,000 of them. So we're going to filter them out a little bit. So I'm going to filter out everyone with blue eyes. So exactly typing in what's there, you can see is put it in speech marks, it's text. So I have only people with blue eyes, 3,064 of them. That's fair enough. Let's go back into design view and do something perhaps a little bit extra. I'm going to filter by name, but I'm going to use a wildcard operator. So say I wanted to know everyone called Stephen. Well, if I just do Stephen there, I'd probably come up with no one. Yeah, 0 records. Because there's no one just called Stephen. They've all got, there's Stephen something or something Stephen. So I'm going to put a wildcard operator at the beginning, the asterisk there, and a wildcard character there. So the wildcard, it means it can have anything up to here at all, and then Stephen, and then anything can be after that. So let's have a look at what that looks like. So I have 4 Stephens with blue eyes. Major Stephens. See, has come up with the Stephens as well as Stephen. Yeah, as you would expect, the query is clearly working as intended. I'm going to save that at that point. That's such a useful query. Query blue-eyed Stephens. No spaces in my query name, QRY, so I don't get it mixed up with tables or anything like that. Click OK. So I've now got that in my list over here, and I will use these in reports and things like that later. So I'm going to close it down and make a new one because it's so quick and easy to make queries. Query design, drag in this table. You can actually just probably copy and paste these and then modify them, but it's so quick. What did I do? I dragged in from queries, didn't I? See, there's me saying remove table. There's me saying, oh, be careful to name it so you don't get things mixed up, and that's exactly what I did. So there you go. We can also do sorting. That was another thing I wanted to do. So I'm going to grab in the same things, character ID, name, and we'll go by first appearance, 1985, I'm saying. And if we have a look at that, we have a bunch of people who first appeared in 1985, 369 seems, but they're not alphabetical. So if I go back into design view, I can say sort ascending, and what did I sort on? What field did I sort on? I sorted on first appearance, and that's kind of silly, isn't it? Because they're all a single value. I meant to sort on name. I'll leave that mistake in, that's fine. Sort ascending by name, so there we go, we've got all the A's, B's, etc. And of course I could sort descending, and I'll have all the Zaphods and so on, the Zyklon at the top. So let's go back to ascending, because that just feels more natural, doesn't it? So I'm going to save this one as well, and I'm going to save it as QRY 1985 sorted by name. I like to have reasonably descriptive query names, although that's not the easiest one to read. We'll talk about that kind of thing later. So there is an activity to do with this particular database, answering some questions, seeing which values come out, and that's probably what you should do now.